everyone! Welcome back! So, Qian rushes back to Qinku, but not for a leisurely visit. She's on a mission. She finds her second and fourth brothers and blurts out, "I want to marry the Hua." Like, yesterday. Her second brother, Bai Yi, pumps the brakes. He knows this marriage was arranged by the top dogs, the Fox Emperor, and the Heavenly Emperor, but he's got one major concern. And his name is Mo Yuan. He's always thought Mo Yuan was the one who truly held his sister's heart.
Bai Zuin, her fourth brother, totally agrees. Bai Qian, hearing their worries, sets the record straight immediately.
"Look," she says, "a teacher for a day is a father for life. Mo Yuan saved me, and in my heart, he's as important as our own father." But that's respect. That's gratitude. When it comes to romantic love, my heart belongs completely to the Hua, and only the Hua. Hearing her speak so clearly and confidently about her feelings finally puts her brothers at ease. They can see she's not confused or conflicted. With that settled, a new thought strikes Bai Qian. She's about to marry the Hua, which means she'd become the heavenly consort of the 9 heavens. It just wouldn't be right for her to keep the title of Empress of Qian. So, she makes a big decision. It's time to pass the torch to Feng Jiu. She pulls Feng Jiu aside, away from her second brother's watchful eyes, and whispers a little message. "By the way, Cheng Yu wants to see you in the 9 heavens." Feng Jiu is immediately suspicious. Why would Cheng Yu send a message through her aunt if it wasn't urgent? Her mind races, could something have happened to the Emperor, Dong Hua? Bai Qian just shrugs. She doesn't know the details. She tells Feng Jiu, "If you need to get to the Heavenly Palace, just ask your fourth uncle for help." With her matchmaking duties done, Bai Qian is antsy to get back. Ailey is waiting for dinner. She hurries back to the Heavenly Palace, leaving Bai Zuan to sigh. Our little fifth is really taking this stepmother role seriously, isn't she? Later, Bai Zuan heads over to the Peach Blossom Forest to share the good news with Qian. He's got a double scoop. First, Feng Jiu is about to become the new Empress of Qing. And second, Bai Qian and the Hua are finally getting married. But instead of celebrating, Jian's expression turns somber. Why, the long face? Well, Jian has known for a long
time that Mo Yuan's feelings for Bai Qian were never just simple affection for his youngest disciple.
Bai Qian has been in Mo Yuan's heart for ages, but he slept for 70,000 years, and in that time, the world moved on without him. It's a classic case of tragic timing. Jian can't help but feel a deep sense of sorrow for his old friend Mo Yuan. Meanwhile, back in the Heavenly Palace,
Bai Qian returns to Shiwu Palace, expecting to find the Hua.
But Zaichun Palace is empty, except for Jiayun, who is waiting for her. Jiayun explains that he is, under the Hua S, orders to escort her to the Lotus Pond. As Bai Qian walks, she trails her hand along the cool stone railings, and then a strange vision flashes through her mind. She sees a woman, her eyes bound by a white veil, stumbling forward, her hands outstretched, feeling her way through the darkness. It's a fleeting, ghostly image, but it sends a shiver down her spine. A forgotten memory, trying to break through the surface. What does this vision mean? And this feeling was extremely familiar to Bai Qian. She wondered if she had been here before.
The mist by the lotus pond grew thicker and thicker.
Just as Bai Qian was wondering what was going on, the mist dissipated before her eyes, and Bai Qian saw the Hua, leading the gods of the 9 heavens to formally pay homage to her on the stone platform below the lotus pond. Bai Qian understood that the Hua was welcoming her with the ceremony befitting a crown prince, and was also formally announcing her status as a heavenly consort to the gods of the 9 heavens. Bai Qian had felt quite aggrieved these past few days because of the many rules in the heavenly palace. But the Hua's arrival dispelled all of that grievance. The Hua told Bai Qian about his impending tribulation. Bai Qian was furious when she learned it was because of the 4 divine beasts. They had injured the Fox Emperor, and she had disliked them ever since. Now, with her wedding to the Hua imminent, separated for 2 months,
Bai Qian was already very reluctant to part.
Thinking of this, She suggested moving the wedding to October, a month of mild spring, a good time. Then, she worriedly added, although it's only 2 months with me, it's a lifetime for you. Emperor, seeming left my page blank. Fate will unfold according to your own destiny.
Bai Qian sighed for a moment, then said,
Although you may forget your identity as the crown prince of the celestial clan and the prospective wife in the Shiwu palace, you must not attract unwanted attention. I am a person of strong likes and dislikes, and I cannot tolerate any infidelity. The Hua gently stroked Bai Qian's face and whispered, What will you do if I attract unwanted attention? Bai Qian turned and pushed the Hua down, saying, If that happens, I'll snatch you back to Qinku and lock you in the fox den, so you can only see me every day, eat with me alone, read with me alone, and paint with me alone. The Hua's eyes lit up, and he kissed Bai Qian's nose, saying deeply, I wish you would snatch me back to the fox den right now. The two agreed that Bai Qian would return to the fox den to wait for him in the next 2 months, and the Hua would go to Qinku to find her after his tribulation. Unable to resist Feng Jiu's persistent pleading, Bai Zuan took her out of Qinku and secretly went to the heavenly palace to find Cheng Yu. Not wanting to be discovered by her second brother, Bai Zuan went to Xian to visit Dai Yang in the Western Sea. Dai Feng told Xian that Dai Yang felt remarkably refreshed upon waking yesterday. Xian suspected that Mo Yuan's primordial spirit was about to return. Sure enough, using the soul tracking technique, they discovered that Mo Yuan's primordial spirit was no longer with Dai Yang, much to everyone's delight.
The Kunlun bell rang again, and all the disciples were overjoyed that their master was returning.
The bell's sound reached the 9 heavens, and the emperor, with a profound gaze, said, Mo Yuan is truly returning.
The Hua descended to the mortal realm to undergo his tribulation, and Bai Qian returned to Qin. Upon arriving, she heard the resounding bells of Kunlun Mountain.
Startled, Bai Qian saw her fourth brother in Jian rushing back from the Western Sea. Bai Zhen's eyes gleamed as he exclaimed, Little fifth, today you can finally fulfill your long-cherished wish. Thinking it a good day, he thought, Mo Yuan is finally waking up.
Bai Qian was stunned, unable to process what she'd just heard. Finally regaining her senses, she stammered, Master.
Master is awake. He's finally awake. Jian sighed softly beside her. It wasn't in vain that the Hua wasted his cultivation. Bai Qian nodded repeatedly, her eyes stinging. Upon reaching the entrance of Yanhua Cave, Bai Qian suppressed her joy and wanted to transform back into Si Yin's male form. Jigan stopped her, saying, Mo Yuan has long seen through your true nature. He hasn't exposed you because of your parents. Did you really think you could hide it from him for 20,000 years? Bai Qian slowly walked into the cave. In the swirling mist, a figure was faintly visible on the ice bed. Bai Qian hurried over, staggering. 17. Come here and let your master see if you've improved over the years. Bai Qian's eyes welled up with tears, and she trembled as she leaned forward, her heart filled with a mix of sadness and joy, calling out, Master! Master!
Mo Yuan held Bai Qian's trembling hands and said, You look quite lovely, like a young lady.
Jian and Bai Zuan entered at this moment, laughing. Mo Yuan, you've slept for 70,000 years. You've finally woken up. The Yanhua cave was too cold, so the 4 of them went back to the fox cave. Mo Yuan sat in the fox cave, and Mi Ju brewed tea. Bai Qian poured cups for each of them. Mo Yuan asked, Jian, during the 70,000 years I slept, you might have seen someone who looks exactly like me.
Jian chuckled twice, his eyes glancing at Bai Qian.
There is indeed such a person.
Your little disciple is quite familiar with him. Bai Qian could only feign composure and say, The person Master is referring to is probably my fiancé, the crown prince of the heavenly clan.
Mo Yuan paused, holding the teacup, and after a long silence, asked, What is your father's name?
When was he born?
Bai Qian truthfully told Mo Yuan. Mo Yuan took a sip of tea and said calmly, Little 17, my own brother, you've just kidnapped him.
Everyone present, except for Mo Yuan, was stunned by these words in the lotus pond of Kunlun Mountain.
Mo Yuan paused, then said,
It seems I awakened him when I sacrificed my primordial spirit to the Eastern Emperor Bel, Baizuhan exclaimed. No wonder. 72 colorful birds circled the beams for 81 days when the Hua was born. And the eastern clouds shimmered for 3 years. He was actually Mo Yuan's younger brother, the son of his father.
Mo Yuan told Bai Qian that he wanted to see the Hu.
Bai Qian was worried that Mo Yuan's health had just recovered and it would be inappropriate. It would be better to wait until Mo Yuan had recovered from his seclusion and then bring the Hua to him. Mo Yuan thought this made sense and decided to return to Kunlun Mountain to recuperate.
Bai Qian thought that Kunlun Mountain was now desolate and couldn't bear to let her master see such a desolate scene when he woke up.
Upon waking, Mo Yuan insisted on returning to Kunlun Mountain. At the foot of Kunlun Mountain, they found many minor deities standing, squatting, or sitting. The mountain was filled with celestial energy. Yuan said, Kunlun Mountain is originally a celestial mountain that originated from the Dragon Bone Peak. It seems that it sensed your return.
Mo Yuan, and excitedly welcomed you with its dragon energy, attracting these minor deities from all around. Mo Yuan remained unmoved.
To avoid disturbing the fairies watching the spectacle, the 4 of them discreetly entered the mountain gate. Bai Qian assumed that since her master's passing, all the disciples of Kunlun Mountain had scattered, and there would be no one here anymore. However, she was quite surprised when they entered Kunlun Mountain. Her 16 senior brothers, all dressed in the robes of Kunlun Mountain disciples, stood in 2 groups along the stone path, as if they had been standing there for the past 70,000 years. The eldest brother stepped forward and knelt before his master, his voice trembling as he said, A few days ago,
Xylan sent word that the
Dragon energy of Kunlun Mountain had greatly increased.
Although we didn't know what the omen was, we brothers rushed back overnight, thinking it might be an auspicious sign that you would be returning. Master?
Later, we learned that you were recuperating your primordial spirit with my brother, and we thought it would take 3 months for you to return. Now, you have finally returned. The other 15 senior brothers also wept uncontrollably.
Mo Yuan's eyes darkened as he said, I have kept you waiting for a long time.
The senior brothers and Mo Yuan entered the main hall. Xylan repeatedly apologized to their master.
Years ago, their master sacrificed his primordial spirit to the Eastern Emperor Bel.
And 17 disappeared along with it. Xylan only repeatedly said that he failed to keep an eye on 17, without mentioning that 17 had bewitched the senior brothers and taken away their master's immortal body.
Over the years, Xylan had searched tirelessly for her in both the mortal and immortal realms, but to no avail.
He feared she was in grave danger. Xylan felt that as 17's senior brother, he couldn't even protect his junior brother. He begged his master for punishment. Bai Qian, hiding behind a pillar, overheard Xylan's words. Knowing that every word he spoke was to protect her, her eyes reddened, and she could no longer hold back. She stepped forward and said, I'm not in grave danger. I'm right here. Bai Qian knelt before her master with the disciple S rites and explained to the senior brothers that she was indeed 17. Xylan stepped forward excitedly and said bitterly, My 17. I've searched for you for so many years. I never imagined you were a man disguised as a woman. No wonder I couldn't find you. Bai Qian smiled through her tears and said, 16th senior brother, does my face really look like a man disguised as a woman? 4th brother drawled out, She's just a delicate young lady. Only then did the other senior brothers realize that the former little 17 was none other than the now revered goddess Bai Qian, whom everyone in the 4 seas and 8 desolations addressed as Aunt. They were astonished. Bai Qian told her senior brothers that as long as she remained a disciple of Kunlun Mountain, she would always be their little 17. Mo Yuan, sitting in the audience, watched Bai Qian and the other disciples, his heart filled with mixed emotions. Now, 17 and Mo Yuan had both returned to Kunlun Mountain.
70,000 years had passed, and Kunlun Mountain was finally bustling with activity again.
That night, Kunlun Mountain was packed with people for the first time in 70,000 years. The guest rooms were already full. so Xylan came to Qian's place to sleep. After tidying up, Xylo paused for a moment and said, 17. You've suffered for Master these past 70,000 years. Bai Qian smiled and said that in her memory of all these years.
The two smiled at each other, as if nothing had changed in the past 70,000 years, and they were still the same people they used to be.
70,000 years have passed. Countless changes have occurred. Bai Qian sighed, feeling that being able to lie on this small bed in Kunlun Mountain again made all the suffering she had endured seem insignificant. Now, she could truly let go of her worries and find lasting peace. About many things, she gradually fell asleep. In the following days, news of Mo Yuan's return spread throughout the 4 seas and 8 wastelands. Everyone with some spiritual root knew that the ancient god Mo Yuan, who controlled music and war, had returned. Bai Qian and Xylan were entertaining guests from all over the 4 seas and 8 wastelands in the palace. Xylan said that the rumors said Mo Yuan was wearing a purple gold crown, black wood armor, black horn boots, holding the Yuan sword. He landed majestically on the top of Kunlun Mountain.
Aizuan teased Bai Qian, saying that what was said before was not wrong.
He probably meant Zhao Wu. Bai Qian reluctantly said that little lady was acceptable, but delicate was too far-fetched.
Xylan asked.
Bai Qian, 17. At your age now, you probably have several children, let alone a husband. Bai Qian chuckled awkwardly and replied, Of course! Of course! I'm getting married the month after next, and I'll invite you all for a drink then. Teacup, and left without a word. Seeing her master leave like this, Bai Qian was puzzled and wanted to follow, but Xian stopped her, saying, Mo Yan just woke up. It's not good for him to be so tired. Let him rest, Bai Qian asked. Master, if you leave like this, what about the immortals who came to pay homage? Ji Yan simply said, Lead them all to the front hall for tea. Ji Yan looked at Bai Qian thoughtfully and sighed. You're quite good at being an immortal, but you're really clueless about matters of the heart, Bai Qian exclaimed in surprise. 4th brother once said the same thing about me, word for word.
Ji Yan and Bai Qian exchanged a knowing smile, looking at Bai Qian's serious expression.
Ji Yan could only sigh and rub his forehead. You really are a bit slow.
Bai Qian looked completely bewildered.
Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.